The afternoon sun streamed through the large glass windows of Harris Auto Works, its golden light reflecting off the polished hoods of cars awaiting service. The rhythmic clinking of tools and the low hum of engines filled the workshop, a familiar symphony to Daniel Harris. He was bent over the open hood of a black Lexus, the sleeves of his blue jumpsuit rolled up, a wrench in his calloused hands. His brow glistened with sweat, but he didn't mind. Work was hard, but it was honest, and it kept a roof over his daughter Lily's head. Daniel was a single dad, and every car he fixed meant food on the table, school fees paid, and the little extras that made Lily smile. He tightened the last bolt, exhaled, and reached for a rag to wipe his hands when he suddenly heard a voice pierce through the steady workshop noise. "Daddy!" It was Lily's voice, clear, sweet, and full of excitement. Daniel froze, his heart thudding in his chest. He knew that voice anywhere. Slowly, he turned around. There she was, his little girl, wearing her favorite pink dress and white sneakers, her curls bouncing as she ran straight toward him. Behind her, a woman in a crisp white dress and high heels was rushing to catch up, her designer handbag swinging from her arm. Daniel blinked in surprise. He hadn't expected Lily to be here. Usually, she was with the babysitter until he finished his shift. Lily? Daniel stepped forward instinctively, crouching just as she threw her tiny arms around his neck. He hugged her tightly, inhaling the familiar scent of her strawberry shampoo. For a moment, the rest of the world faded, the cars, the tools, the customers, all he could feel was his little girl's heartbeat against his chest. "Daddy, I missed you," she said, her voice muffled against his shoulder. Daniel's throat tightened. "I missed you too, baby," he whispered, pulling back to look at her bright, smiling face. The woman in white approached, her expression soft but slightly nervous. Daniel recognized her. It was Mrs. Whitmore, Lily's schoolteacher. He stood up, still holding Lily's hand. "Mrs. Whitmore? What brings you here?" "I'm so sorry to just show up like this," she said, catching her breath. "I was driving past when I saw Lily running near the crosswalk. I stopped immediately, of course. She said she wanted to see her dad. She pointed to your workshop, so I brought her here." Daniel knelt again, his heart tightening at the thought of Lily wandering near traffic. "Sweetheart, you can't do that," he said gently. "You have to wait until I come for you." "I just wanted to surprise you," Lily said softly, her big brown eyes brimming with guilt. "I missed you, Daddy. Everyone at school talks about their mommies picking them up. I wanted to see you instead." Daniel felt a sharp pang of sadness. He hated that Lily felt different because she didn't have a mom around. Her mother had left when Lily was only 2, unable to handle the challenges of parenthood, leaving Daniel to raise his daughter alone. He worked hard to give her everything she needed, but he knew there were moments he couldn't fill. He hugged her again, swallowing the lump in his throat. "You're my world, Lily. You don't ever have to feel left out, okay? Daddy loves you more than anything." Mrs. Whitmore smiled softly at the scene, then glanced around the workshop. "I didn't mean to intrude," she said. "But I have to say, Lily's always talking about you. She's very proud of her dad." Daniel nodded, humbled. "Thank you for bringing her here safely. I don't know what I'd do without her." "You're doing a wonderful job," Mrs. Whitmore said kindly. "If you ever need any help, even just someone to pick her up from school on busy days, I'm happy to help." Daniel was taken aback by her generosity. He wasn't used to people offering help, he'd grown accustomed to carrying the weight alone. But there was something sincere in Mrs. Whitmore's tone that made him nod. "Thank you. I might take you up on that." The rest of the workshop seemed to pause as Daniel took Lily by the hand and walked her to a bench near the office area. He gave her a juice box from the staff fridge and watched as she sipped happily, her legs swinging. For the first time in weeks, he didn't feel the exhaustion from work. He felt grateful. As the day drew to a close, Daniel finished his remaining tasks and took Lily home. That night, after she fell asleep clutching her favorite teddy bear, Daniel sat at the kitchen table and thought about the moment she'd called out, "Daddy," in the workshop. It had reminded him why he worked so hard. It wasn't about cars or paychecks, it was about giving his little girl a future where she never doubted she was loved. The following week, Daniel's life quietly began to change. Mrs. Whitmore checked in on Lily after school and even invited her to small class activities so she wouldn't feel left out. Daniel was hesitant at first, but Lily's happiness was undeniable. She blossomed under the extra care and attention, her laughter returning brighter than ever. One Friday evening, Mrs. Whitmore stopped by the workshop with Lily again. This time, Daniel wasn't surprised. Lily had told him they were coming. Mrs. Whitmore handed him a small envelope. "This is from Lily," she said, smiling. Daniel opened it carefully. Inside was a crayon drawing of a man in a blue jumpsuit holding hands with a little girl in a pink dress. At the top, in shaky letters, Lily had written, "My hero. My daddy." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. He looked down at Lily, who was beaming with pride. "Do you like it, Daddy?" He knelt and hugged her tightly. "I love it, baby girl. More than you'll ever know." Mrs. Whitmore's voice was gentle as she spoke. "You're raising a wonderful child, Daniel. She's a reflection of your love and strength." Daniel looked at her, his heart full. "I couldn't do it without people like you helping us," he admitted. "Thank you for being there." As they stood together in the fading light of the workshop, Daniel realized something important. Life as a single dad was never easy, but it wasn't meant to be done alone. Kindness had a way of finding its way into their lives when they least expected it. That night, Daniel tucked Lily into bed and whispered, "I'll always be here for you, no matter what." She hugged him sleepily, and he knew she believed him. From that day forward, the bond between Daniel and Lily only grew stronger. She never doubted her father's love, and Daniel, though still working hard at the workshop, no longer felt the weight of the world pressing down on him. He had Lily, and now, a community that cared. And every time Lily called out, "Daddy," whether in the quiet of their small home or across the busy workshop floor, Daniel's heart filled with the same indescribable joy. Because he knew that despite life's hardships, they would always have each other, and that was more than enough.